So hello students, from our today's lecture we are going to start our new chapter of design of heat exchanger subject, which is chapter number 5. In chapter number 5 we are going to study about different heat transfer enhancement technique, that how can we enhance the heat transfer, or we can say that increase the heat transfer rate in a heat exchanger by using different methods. Then we will study about how to evaluate the enhancement technique, and at last we will discuss about the pinch technology, or we can say that the pinch analysis which is used in industry for the design of heat exchanger. So in our today's lecture, first we are going to discuss about heat transfer enhancement, different techniques, active and passive techniques which are used to enhance the heat transfer rate in any heat exchanger. So let's first understand what is heat transfer enhancement. So the study of improved heat transfer performance is referred as a heat transfer enhancement, or we can say that the augmentation. Enhancement of heat transfer has concerned researchers and practitioners since the earliest documented studies of the heat transfer. Now let's understand what is enhanced heat transfer. So convective heat transfer is always achieved at expense of fluid flow and thereby pressure drop. We know that whenever there is a heat transfer between solid boundary and the fluid, it would be by convection mode. So we know that Q is equal to HA delta T. So if we want to increase the convective heat transfer rate, then we can increase by increasing the value of H, which is convective heat transfer coefficient. And for increasing the value of H, we can increase value of H by increasing the velocity. But increasing the velocity results in pressure drop, and larger value of pressure drop, creating the required higher pumping power, which indirectly increase the capital cost. So higher the heat transfer coefficient, smaller the heat transfer area required, lower the first cost of heat exchanger, but at the same time, as we have just discussed, the higher velocity of fluid increase the pressure drop, and increase the pressure drop which results in higher the operating cost. Therefore it is important to minimize pressure drop for a given heat transfer coefficient, so that the overall cost of heat exchanger, which is sum of operating cost and fixed cost, is low. Now, so according to this, efficiency of heat transfer can define in terms of conversion of pressure drop to heat transfer. Now, enhanced heat transfer, commonly understood to be an enhancement or increase in heat transfer coefficient. So increasing heat transfer coefficient can be achieved even in conventional shallow tube heat exchanger by increasing the fluid velocity, just we have discussed. But increasing the fluid velocity, that would hardly qualify as heat transfer enhancement. Why? Because increasing velocity result in increasing pressure drop, and which is far greater than increasing heat transfer coefficient. So if you increase the velocity, and the purpose of increasing velocity is to increase the heat transfer coefficient value of H, then H will increase, but at the same time simultaneously you increase the pressure drop. So consequently the efficiency of conversion of pressure drop to the heat transfer will actually decrease. So now the question is, what enhanced heat transfer really implies? Enhancement of the heat transfer coefficient for a given pressure drop. So the key enhanced heat transfer is higher turbulence, which is produced not by increasing in fluid velocity, but by improvement in a basic flow pattern. So increased turbulence leads not only enhanced heat transfer, but it also reduces fouling as well. Now the question is how we can improve basic flow patterns. So there are some techniques to increase the to convert flow of fluid from laminar to turbulent. We will discuss that techniques in our upcoming slide. But what are the benefits of enhanced heat transfer? So it reduces the first cost of the heat exchanger. By virtue of higher overall heat transfer coefficient, the size and the weight of the heat exchanger will be lower as compared to the saving in a structure steel, and thereby reducing the first cost. Second is it's saving the pumping power. The cost of the heat exchanger embodying enhanced heat transfer can be kept the same as that of a conventional shell and tube heat exchanger at the expense of much lower pressure drop on the side, which has been enhanced, tube side, shell side, or both. This will result in direct saving in pumping power of the corresponding streams. The third benefit is reduced fouling. Due to the elimination of plain circular tube and the perpendicular plate baffle, and due to the increase in turbulence produced the enhancement device, the extent of fouling will be appreciably less than that is in a conventional Schilling tube heat exchanger. Cost effective in revamp application, where instead of supplementing or replacing existing heat exchanger by bigger ones, only existing tubes bundles are replaced by new tube bundles, which are the twisted tubes or enhanced surface tubes. It eliminates the cost of structural and piping modification which is associated with the downtime, and at last it reduces the number of shells, because you are going to achieve desired heat transfer rate with a minimum number of tubes, because the tubes are modified tubes which convert laminar flow of the fluid into turbulent flow, which results in higher heat transfer rate, higher heat transfer coefficient, and increasing the value of H, increasing the value of heat transfer coefficient will result in increase in higher heat transfer rate. So it reduces overall number of shells. So these are the advantages of enhancement of heat transfer. Now we are going to discuss how we can improve or how we can enhance the heat transfer. So there are a number of techniques for heat transfer enhancement. Approaches followed to enhance heat transfer include heat transfer surface modification, placement of displaced flow devices such as now interruptions such as slits or offset fins that interrupt the boundary layer, restarting it, creating secondary flow, etc. These are the methods to create a turbulence in the fluid flow, which results in increasing heat transfer coefficient. Roughness, which accelerate transition from laminar flow to the turbulent flow. Heat transfer surface modification by introducing protuberances such as rigids or 3D shapes within the flow of the fluid, like profiles such as the circular or semicircular cube pyramid, etc., which generate secondary or unsteady flows which disturb the laminar flow. And insert placed inside flow channels so as to improve the fluid flow near the heat transfer surface, or device which create rotating and secondary flow inside the tubes. As we are going to moving on the next slides, you will understand how to enhance any surface, or what are the different techniques to enhance the surface or to convert laminar flow into the turbulent flow. So basically these all techniques are classified into two ways. First is passive methods and then active methods. So passive method which required no direct application of external power, and active method which required some external power. So passive method includes extended surfaces method, treated surfaces, rough surface or surface protuberance, displaced enhancement devices, swirl flow devices, surface tension devices, additives for fluids and additives for gases. We will discuss all these methods in our upcoming slides. Active methods includes mechanical aids, surface vibration, fluid vibration, electro-hydrodynamic fields, boundary layer injection and boundary layer suction, etc. So let's first discuss all the active techniques which require some external power or external arrangement. The first is a mechanical aids which steer the fluid by mechanical means, or by rotating the surface, or by surface scraping. Surface scraping is widely used for viscous liquid in the chemical process industry, which easily generate turbulence in the fluid flow. Second is a surface vibration, so which cleans or restart the boundary layer, because whenever surface vibrated, it create a new boundary layer for the flow, and or which induces the secondary flows at either low or high frequency, has been used primarily to improve single phase heat transfer. Possible modes of heat transfer applications are single phase flow, boiling and condensation. Then the third method is a fluid vibration, which is the most practical type of vibration enhancement. Given the mass of most of heat exchangers, the vibrations ranges from pulsation of about 1 Hz to the 1 Hz to ultrasound. Single phase fluids are primary concern. Possible modes of heat transfer application are single phase flow, boiling and condensing. The next method is electrostatic field. DC or AC are applied in many different ways to dielectric to cause greater bulk mixing of fluid in the vicinity of the heat transfer surface. An electrical field and magnetic field may be combined to provide force convection via electromagnetic pumping. Then boundary layer injections. involves supply gases to a flow liquid through a porous heat transfer surface, or injecting a similar fluid upstream of the heat transfer section, which enhancement is primarily for the multi-phase flow. Then boundary layer suction. It involves the removal of boundary layer and restart the boundary layer downstream. It involves either vapor removal through a porous heated surface in nucleate or film boiling, or fluid withdrawal through a porous heated surface in a single phase flow. Then electrohydrodynamic, EHD, high voltage up to greater than 1 kilovolt applied to an electrode near a plate, which induced secondary flows in a boundary layer, applicable for liquid flows only. So these are the active techniques which are used to enhance the heat transfer. So the active techniques have not found commercial interest because we know it required external power. So because of capital and operating cost of the enhancement device, and also it is complex in nature and problem associated with the vibration or noise or a high voltage. So these are the active techniques which are not commercially accepted. So now we are going to discuss about the passive techniques in our next lecture. So in our today's lecture, we have learned that what is actual heat transfer enhancement. Whenever there is a convective mode of heat transfer, then we can increase the heat transfer rate by increasing the value of coefficient, heat transfer coefficient. So if we want to increase the value of H, we can simply increase the value of H by increasing fluid velocity. But if we are going to increase the velocity of fluid to increase the value of H, simultaneously it also increases the value of pressure drop. So if we increase the value of pressure drop, it directly required higher pumping power, which results in increasing cost. So what is the solution? What is actual heat transfer enhancement means? So actual heat transfer enhancement means you do not need to disturb the pressure drop. By increasing pressure drop, if you are going to increase the heat transfer rate, then it is not appropriate way. Any designer of heat exchanger have to made a compromise between the pressure drop and heat transfer rate. So one best way to increase the heat transfer rate is to create a turbulent, or we can say that creating a disturbance into a flow of the fluid by different method. Because whenever there is a turbulence in the fluid, it will automatically increase the value of heat transfer coefficient. So increasing the value of H by creating a turbulent flow will increase the heat transfer rate. So now there are different techniques to generate a turbulent flow in a heat exchanger. There are active techniques and some are passive techniques. Active techniques are techniques which require external power, and passive techniques which do not require external power. So in this lecture we have discussed about different active techniques which involves application of voltage, applications of vibration, application of rough surfaces. These are the different active methods which require external power, but they are very complex, so are not found commercially applicable. So that's it for today. Thank you so much.